I swear to God, if I get to the main stage of the stream, and if I see even an ounce of fire, I'm turning around and I'm getting the hell out of here. Okay. You live today. Hi. Welcome to the stream, everybody. What? It's just a mood I've been in. There's good to get. What? Close enough to fire. Goodbye. No, I'm kidding. Hi. How you guys doing? I hope things are great for you. Recently solved my Discord lag problem without needing a new OS or laptop. Simple enough because Discord was causing it. That's shocking, said no one ever. Man, so I have recently been doing a little bit of like toying around with a really old, well, not really old, it's just like really underpowered laptop that like was from 2019. Something that has like a dual core processor and not like, you know, a super new age sort of processor. And what sucks is that that thing is so underpowered that like even just running Discord, it chugs. There's so much extra bloat in Discord nowadays that it just it basically like hogs all of the resources on a computer that's a little bit worse for wear. It sucks, man. Like, I don't know. Is it just me? Is it one of those things where I'm like, I kind of want to just have a good messaging service, something that like just sends messages and calls it a day. It's easy to disable the bloat. See, I actually found out that a way that you can do it is by turning on like a bunch of accessibility modes to turn off a bunch of extra like motion and stuff. And that does turn off a bunch of things that take up a bunch of processing power. So, you know, like you could do stuff about it. It's just kind of one of those like, frickin' heck, Discord, why do you have to have everything have an animated function of some kind? Like, the answer is no, you don't. For God's sakes. Like, your service is already kind of having some problems as it is. I don't necessarily want to have to contend with the fact that also we're having issues with just the fact that it doesn't run on the best hardware. You need the app and enable developer tools and use its network request blocking. Interesting. I will keep that in mind. May I show the thing that I've worked on and finished yesterday? Yeah, sure. Go for it, Maple. Network recording and block science and experiment. Yeah, I know that like for I think for those particular things in the settings, they do warn you, being like, hey, don't fuck with these unless you know what you're doing. Anyway, like, let me pull up this thing that Mapley made. So Mapley is currently in the process of just noodling around with modeling and whatnot. And like, by the way, Mapley has like very quickly become pretty decent at making models. And as of recently, they decided to take a crack at making their own interpretation of bit. So then Mapley does this. Yeah. Y'all thirsty motherfuckers. Oh man, but I have a copy of it, and whether or not I actually oh, Kippy, hey, thank you for coming in, thank you for the subscribe, I appreciate it. Wait, what emote is it? They ate. That is amazing. I wish I could eat that quickly. Unfortunately, stomach don't like. Why does he look so sad? He looks so sad because you're drinking out of his head. Look at it again. That's a straw. Stop drinking out of the bit. He's not for that. Cut it out. You can find other water somewhere else. Stop it. Get some help. And then Mapley also posted, okay, another thing. Here, copy and replace. Let's see. Hey, who's this imposter? Get the fuck off my stage. Now, it looks pretty good, but I think what I would probably end up doing is I'm kind of considering maybe like I might go in and do a little bit of adjustments on the hands, and also This is just a me being picky kind of thing. Keep in mind, this is like Mapley's interpretation of like what she would like to make Bit. So like, you know, so, and I mean, you know, she's the one that made Bit in the first place. So there's a level of seniority there. However, I think if I were to do anything with this model, before I did anything, I would want to, maybe like do a little bit of adjustments on the hands. I've done some incredible work on these particular hands here. Like they're actually like really good looking sausage fingers. Look at that. I think I would want to have the hands be have a little bit more fidelity and detail to them. And on top of that, as much as I like the creative vision of changing up the way that the bubbles look on the head, at the same time, I'm also a believer that when you have some level of an iconic image or like an iconic silhouette, you don't want to stray too far away from that. And I feel like changing up the way that the bubbles look from like a shape standpoint might not work too well. I personally really like the simplistic look of circle, 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 circle. You know, like it's really easy to draw, and I mean, it's literally something that you could just doodle really quickly. So I'd probably adjust those bubbles and make them like circle. Gave you a heads up prior. Rigging is a bit weird for me. I do need more practice with that, especially weight painting. Oh, weight painting is hell on toast. I totally get you. For most of my weight painting, I kind of just did it all like automatically using the automatic functions, and then did like little bits and pieces of adjustments like where I needed to. So I totally get you. Absolutely. So, but what I do like is that this model actually does have some toggles and some like specific expressions, like smaller eyes and like, you know, shock faces, which is something I don't really have. I tend to just be really expressive during my streams and like very handsy, just to be like, what do I do? Look, bubbly guy going nuts on the screen. So, you know, I compensate for that. But it'd be nice to have some toggles, you know? That's something that a lot of VTubers have that I just don't do. And I have learned that like practice makes perfect when it comes to that kind of thing. So maybe I just need to get over myself. I'm proud of the happy and shocked face. Oh yeah, the happy face is really nice. Anyway, you can go ahead and you know, go run off, play in the yard or something. There we go. See you. We got another picture though. Hold on. Oh yeah, there he is. Here, let's pop this on real quick. There's a happy boy. Oh, I love him so much. Look at that guy. Very smiley, very happy. And like, also, one thing that does kind of help is that, so one thing I definitely want to change with like an upgraded model is that I definitely do want to have a little bit of shine in the eyes. Tons of people have complained about that, being like, hey, it's kind of weird that your eyeballs don't have any particular shine or soul in them. I don't know, it's just like, it's the two-tone color and then it's done. Like, no, don't do that. It's like, you put something in there. And I'm just like, it was my first model and I was being lazy. Leave me alone. So, you know, I definitely want to do something like that. And these eyeballs look like they're more alive, you know what I mean? I appreciate them. All right, let me clear that guy out. Okay, just making sure. Oh, hey, we got the surprised face. Hold on a second. Copy, replace. Bop, boop. Ah, he's so shocked. Oh, gee. I will say, I like the look of outlines. I like a more cartoony sort of style, so definitely would have to come up with some kind of a system where, well, I'm sure I could figure it out. I gotta make an outline for this son of a gun. For sure. But that's not hard. Like, well, okay. You need to know what you're doing, but, you know. Anyway, thank you very much, Diane. I appreciate the apple. An apple a day keeps the ferrets away. Oh, Mapley has sent me pie through the mail. How nice. Okay. Oh, Phoenix is talking about a couple of things that happened with them. Hold on a sec. Let me scroll back here. I was answering comments and drawing a picture of all my lesbian dossiers. Pride. To hate on the new animated movie called Lesbian Space Princess. What the heck are you? What? Never been, never heard, never what? I am lost in the sauce and confused as heck. All right. So, hey, before I forget, let me bring this up. I do have the magma up for this stream, so if you want to, you can come on in and draw a little something and doodle while we are currently hanging out. Yeah, why are people hating on it? I don't freaking know. Here, let me go ahead and bring up the magma just so you guys can see it. There we go. There's where we left off. Also, it looks like somebody came in here and it's OSHA. OSHA came in here and did some like doodles while I was gone. Bello. And then we got this. Look at him go. And yes, that is me as a FNAF animatronic. Five Nights at the Bit-Bits. Oh, it's so adorably creepy. Thank you very much, OSHA. I appreciate that a lot. Anyway, yeah, magma is currently available if you feel like doodling a little something while we're in the middle of doing live stream and whatnot. Which, today, I felt like today would be a good day for me to just sort of catch you up on what's been going on in the world of BitB. Because we haven't actually been streaming in a little while. And that's for good reason. I mean, so one, I've been incredibly busy IRL behind the scenes. But on top of that, I also, I've had a lot of shit suddenly pile on me. And there are certain things that I can get into detail about. Other things I can't. And then there are things that I can't that I'd love to talk about, but I can't. I don't know. You probably already know one of them in particular. I talked about it on my Discord not too long ago. And yeah, that's one of those things where it's just like, until a little bit of time passes and some conversations happen, it's not really my place to say anything. So, yeah. The announcement. Yeah. And like, I'd speak more on the matter, but unfortunately it's not really my conversation to be had because it didn't really affect me directly. So yeah, can't really do much about it. And I am respecting the wishes of people that were affected. So let's just say that there are a couple of things that happen behind the scenes that I have made some adjustments to, and in general I've just been spending a lot of time hanging out with friends, hugging them, and just trying to be nice and cool and chill with folks. And as a and this is the thanks I get. Oh, hello Remy, how you doing? That's valid. Thank you for the hearts. But anyway, so I mean, for the most part, what I've been doing is I've just... Oh, hello, Snab. I certainly hope you haven't broke anything while I've been gone. An entire Chinese restaurant? Did you at least get me some Kung Pao chicken? Okay, you're fine. So... Right, anyway. Yeah, let's just say, like, a lot of hugging and a lot of support has been happening behind the scenes. As well as, like, as a special little treat, I also decided, like, you know what? Me and all of my friends need to pick me up. So we actually, I did. I went and I ran around and bought everybody, like, a $10 game on Steam. Of whatever random thing I could think about. Some of them were party games. Other ones were, like, things that I knew they wanted on their list. And then other ones were things that I was just like, you know what? This game is wholesome, and you'd love it. You know, kind of thing. So, yeah, in general, I've just been kind of like, trying to help keep the vibes positive as much as possible. I'm back with a hot dog. Hot dog! Is it a normal hot dog, or are we talking like a, is there something special about it? Like a cheese dog? Is it like, what kind of toppings does it have? Paint me a picture. Don't mind me, just wondering what this button does. It says, what? Wait, what button? Hello. It's Handsome Bit. I'm here to haunt your nightmares. Hello. How you doing? Hope things are great. Snap is a little bit buried behind it. Oh my god! Yeah, that's a redeem. That's gonna be around for, I think, 5 minutes. Enjoy, I guess. Oh my god! All right, so thanks for testing that. It seems like my stream is pretty much all back to normal. Like, he's all set up. I should probably get into that, actually. We should talk about why it is that I've been gone for, you know, the last, like, couple of weeks here. Let's do that. And now I don't want to look at the screen. Well, good for you that I am currently broadcasting to you in delicious audio as well. All right, I've made a list of things just so I don't get too, like, thrown off here. What's, all right. Let's start with something that's not exactly happening directly to me, but it's happening tangentially that did kind of put a little bit of stress on me, just a little bit. So my folks have got like some cats, and I love them to death. They are adorable freaking beans, and one of them in particular started acting kind of weird, and that would be Poe. Let me bring a picture of Poe up just so you can. Hey, Bill! Oh my God! Hey, son. How you doing? All back to normal, he says. Has a snab on his head and a mask on his face that'll haunt me tonight. Welcome to our normal. This is what happens when you aren't at the stream on a regular basis. Weird shit. Anyway, let me... Oh, huge resolution. Let me zoom it down. Zoom it down further. Fug. Ah, there we go. Let's make it just a little bit smaller. There we go. There's Poe. He's an adorable little thing, and he my parents got this cat as a kitten back when they got like 2 kittens. This one is Poe, and the other one is Finn. And yes, those are Star Wars references, and yes, it is a reference to the new sequel, the new trilogy. Sorry, can I eat the cat? No, not allowed. Yippee! But anyway, he's not had the best time as of recently. Keep in mind, I want you guys to know all of the subjects that I'm about to cover here basically happened over the span of like a week, and it sucked. But yeah, so he ended up going into the vet because he just wasn't eating for some reason. And, like, my folks had no idea why, so they were like, hey, vet, what should we do about this? What was going on? And, so they checked his blood, they checked him, like, for, you know, they gave him, like, little bits of x-ray, and they're just like, no, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with him. It seems fine. It could, well, and the thing is, if there's nothing in the blood to determine that he has some sort of an infection, and if the x-ray doesn't show anything, well, what the heck are they supposed to do about this? So they were like, okay, well, you just go ahead and take care of the cat, and if they continue to have problems, then come back in and we will schedule like a surgery so we can look into this a little bit closer. Well, a couple of days later, this cat still was not eating well, and it started scaring the ever-loving hell out of my folks, as well as me, because I'm like, this cat is very young. You don't want this cat to end up in a situation where like it's a fatal circumstance. So yeah, he was brought into the vet and they gave immediate emergency surgery. Cats don't just not eat. Yeah. So they brought him into emergency surgery. Cut him up like a freaking chicken. Looked inside and they were just like, we don't see anything. And they're just like, what the heck? And so what they did was they were like, okay, so here's the deal. We're going to give him like this range of antibiotics and medications. And he's going to be taking them for about like 3 weeks here. and we're gonna see if that helps him out in any capacity. However, once my folks like got those medications and started looking into them and figuring out what those medications do, stop! I'm back. Anyway, my folks like that, you know, they don't like to just randomly hand medications to an animal that they don't really understand what they do or like what the chemical makeup is, and they especially don't want to do that to just throwing drugs at somebody as a solution unless it's absolutely necessary. So what ended up happening was a couple of days later, my dad ended up taking Poe over to a neighboring vet that was located within like the next town over. And this town actually had a vet there that was like, he was actually like the head management of like several different veterinary clinics within the area, including the one that was my folks's. And he had a conversation with them and being like, hey, so heads up, this cat is currently having some very major problems, and it ended up leading into surgery, and cat is still not eating properly. The vets over there said that the cat needs to have some, a very large laundry list of drugs, which are really expensive, and we don't necessarily want to be giving it to him. And also on top of that, like the vet in question that cut him open, we believe that he didn't like properly cut him open. Like I think he cut too much, and also like in a really like wonky way. So like the scar isn't healing properly. And so we're just like, what is going on here? And then this vet like took a look at all of these details and then looked into who it was that was doing the veterinary stuff. And he went, okay. So, we've had problems with that vet before in the past where apparently like, I had an old cat named Simon who he had been given like some medications to try and like, I forget what it was. It was something for a procedure. And when they gave him those medications, they gave him like 2 pills worth. And they looked into it and they found out that like, hey, wait a second. This cat shouldn't have taken any more than 1 of these pills, because like 2 pills is an overdose. And so, luckily he vomited it back up. However, now it makes total sense why that happened now. We were just like, oh man, he must be really sick. No, the vet basically gave him poison. So I guess the doctor in question that is at that vet is already on a thin leash, basically. And so, this head vet over in this other town basically went, all right, so here's what you're going to do. The scar should heal. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it should heal just fine. Your mission right now, the only medication I would give him is an appetite stimulant, so that he is not scared to eat and he can get back to being used to eating properly. Because right now he's probably very scared about eating something, considering it probably doesn't make him feel very well. Like, incentivize and give him reasons to eat. Make sure that he is eating in an environment where like he's not afraid of any of the other cats around in the area. And the final diagnosis that this doctor did was, your cat appears to be suffering from an extreme case of anxiety. That's it. That's all it is. He's a nervous little ball of nerves. It seems like there's just something that spooked him or something, and it kind of like spooked him into not eating properly. And then he started getting into the vet's office, and the vets started poking at him and doing all these crazy procedures, and that ended up just making him more nervous. And finally, it's just like, you have a nervous cat, guys. That seems like how it is. So yeah, just give him plenty of cuddles and distance when he needs it. Make sure he has plenty of places to be in quiet spaces, and just make sure he eats. That's it. And then it resulted in an unnecessary surgery. Yeah. And again, fun part about all of that, all of that is not cheap. So, this little sucker over here, because he was having panic attacks and stuff, he racked up a pretty penny. The good news, though, is that the next time that we went over to the local vet for my folks, that one doctor that we were discussing, very apologetic. Very like, I am very sorry. We will get you everything that you need for your case, and we will and we will go from there. We are very major apologies, sir and madam. No refund. Why would they give a refund? They did a whole bunch of medical procedures and stuff, which, like, I guess it took up resources and labor, so therefore they're just like, no, we're gonna make you all happy. Apologies are insufficient. Refund, or I'm getting a lawyer. It's kind of one of those, like, I would love to take somebody like that to court, but at the exact same time, it's like, man, I don't have the money or the patience or the flexibility to be able to pull somebody into a courtroom, and my parents are not either. So, unfortunately, the only thing you can really do is just send an SOS out to the rest of the community and be like, hey, just a heads up, if you get this doctor in this particular vet, run like the hills. If anything, you should probably be taking your pet to a different place, possibly. And it's a shame because this place was not always bad. They had one doctor that was there at a really long time ago, and that doctor was actually really, really good. Like, understood what the cats needed, like, with a ridiculously good instinct. And but she just recently moved to a different practice and a different location, and was replaced by that one schmuck that came in and been like, I don't know anything I'm doing. He's stupid. I'd go to the local news, put that shit on blast. Oh, maybe. But then you have to worry about, like, well, all right, I don't know how much the local news could possibly be tried for, libel or slander, but I don't know. It's tough. That's stuck still. So you can imagine that, like, I'm getting phone calls about the fact that, like, oh god, no, Poe's not doing well, oh shit, oh no, yeah, and I have to, like, live with that thought sitting in the back of my head, being like, oh, is he gonna be all right? Is he gonna make it through another day? Jesus. Luckily, though, it has been about, like, I think, I want to say like a week and a half or 2 weeks, and aside from having a really gnarly scar, Poe's doing pretty good. I went over there the other day, and Poe is just, like, buttery. He's like, I think he's just super happy that he is feeling better, and also that people are giving him all of the attention. And I am. I'm just like, come here, you little son of a gun. You little bastard. He's great. He's a freaking great cat. Again, he's just, like, nervous as fuck. Which is funny because I think back to times when I saw him as a kitten, and he was, like, very inquisitive and, like, very timid to walk around certain locations. And now this makes a lot of sense. Oh, when Bones was having a seizures, the vets couldn't and still haven't found what was causing them. Yeah, that can happen. Seizures are a rough one. Seizures suck. Anyway, so that's one thing that was happening in the background that, like, it's not directly connected to me, but it did affect me from a morale standpoint, and it stressed me out a little bit. Let's get relevant to some of the shit that Bit has actually been doing behind the scenes, shall we? I'm glad he's feeling better. I know the feeling. Morty is going through something too, but I won't get into much detail. Oh yeah. Terraria music? Oh yeah, Terraria is freaking awesome. Also, I just recently heard that they did a big update not too long ago. Am I gonna have to dive back in Terraria? Oh boy. Alright. So, let me give you a little bit of an update on what has been going on in my life. You know what? I'm not ready to directly and outright say it in writing as an announcement over on the Discord, but I'm very thankful that you guys have decided to jump on in here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just say it. I am currently making some plans in the background right now. I want to move to a different location. And, not because I'm being like, pushed out of town or like being shoved into just be like, hey, you're late on your mortgage, get out. No, I mean, I want to move. I want to get the fuck out of this place. Mostly because I just feel like it's really remote from things, and I would like to have better access to better, just better resources and things that I can get at very reasonable prices. Because right now, like when you live remote and there's only a handful of places to work with, they nickel and dime you for everything. And in this current economy, I need to live in places where they need to compete. So it's been something I've been thinking about for a really long time, and I am finally kind of jumping on it. Where are you thinking of moving? Not far. Literally, what I'm planning on doing is, hey, you live right here? Okay. Over there. It's not ridiculously far, but it's far enough that I'm closer to more of a metropolitan location, and therefore I have, I'm going to potentially have access to better shit. Like, you guys complain about the fact that I live like sheltered as hell, being like, wait, you telling me you guys, you haven't had boba? Wait, you don't have like a good, like, Chinese place or a Japanese like ramen place? What the heck's wrong with you? Well, that's why. I live out here. But hey, if I move to like the location I'm thinking of, I could end up being in a spot where I could go out to these places more often. I could do it in a cheaper fashion without spending a whole bunch of gas. And on top of that, what if I don't even want to get out? Like, I could actually, like, here's a crazy thing. I could actually get food delivered. At the current moment, the only places that actually deliver to me is like one really crappy pizza place. And the only reason you would ever buy stuff from them is because they deliver it to you. So, yeah, I am currently making some movements to do some moving and whatnot. So, yeah. So many places delivered to where I live now, and it's a problem. Oh, I could see that. See, you need to be a little bit careful about that because, that's a lot of calories consumed and a lot of money on delivery costs. So, got to be careful. Living in a more remote area specifically, and right now it's great for me in a city. Explore new, better opportunities. Absolutely. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But before I can do any of that, I do need to make some adjustments to where I currently, the household that I'm currently in, that I'm currently rooming in, because I'll be moving with a whole bunch of my roommates here to another location. So as of recently, it's just been a big old sprint trying to get a bunch of stuff cleaned up and taken care of and getting everything up to speed so that you're selling a place that actually, can like make its money back so that you can actually afford to move, Big plan stuff. So yeah, there are a couple of things that I've just been keeping on the back burner for a really long time that suddenly I have to be like, okay, we're doing this now. A few of them are like some household repair things, which weren't like terrible, but they definitely were things that were just like due time. We definitely needed to get it done. One of them was painting, and also like some basic wall upkeep and stuff. So we hired a guy who has been working with us at the moment. And also, Mapley, yeah, I do see what you're doodling. We'll look at that in a minute, I'm sure. No! So, right. Anyway, so yeah, so we ended up getting in touch with this one particular contractor guy. Hey, stab. We ended up getting in contact with this one contractor guy that was recommended to us by a realtor of ours. It was just like, we were like, we're trying to look for somebody that can take care of a whole lot of our problems. Do you happen to know some guy? And he's like, oh yeah, I know a guy here. I'll get you in touch with him. And so he gives me a phone number. I call the dude, and he sings a lot of like graceful things about all the crazy things that he's capable of doing in a very short period of time. And considering I would like to get all this stuff done before like the market fluctuates too much, that sounded excellent. Oh, like I was like, oh yes, awesome. All right, yes, let's get this done. Let's do it. Then this guy promised a lot of stuff where it was just like, oh yeah, you need this one particular part of the house spackled. I can do it. Oh yeah, you need to have this place painted. Oh, I can do all that in like one day. Oh, hey, you need to have this one particular wall like completely like boarded up. All right, I'm your man. That kind of guy. And I was like, hey, that sounds freaking awesome. So brought him in, showed him around a whole bunch of the places that need to be fixed and things that needed to be adjusted. And he seemed on the he seemed on the level with us, basically. It was just like, okay, so you need to get that done here. I can probably go ahead and put a little bit of like a mesh behind that particular portion of the wall, and then I can place a little bit more, put some more drywall on front of that, spackle it all in, bam, you're done, and stuff like that. Just be like, yes, I can rework this particular room. I can block off that particular door that is no longer in use. I can, and you just be like, I can have one guy come in here that does carpet, absolutely great. And for a while it sounded really, really good. And however, he started doing a little bit of work in certain areas of the house, and in the meantime, while he was in the middle of doing that stuff, I wasn't just sitting around on my butt. I was running around like a chicken with its head cut off. I've been boxing up a whole bunch of like non-essential stuff and getting it all ready to be put into storage so that it's out of the way, so I don't have to worry about it. So right now, my living space is very empty. But the stuff that are here are stuff like, my computer desk and whatnot. But even that, I needed to take my computer and my desk and all of my stuff apart. I need to pull it back to like the center of the room, basically. And I needed to just make some room so that we could do a little bit of work on the walls. Now, what the walls needed to have done was there are a bunch of little holes in the wall from where like screws have been screwed in over the years. So I went up to this contractor and I was just like, okay, so here's the deal. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to move all of the furniture into like convenient to walk around spaces. I'm going to go around to all of the walls here. I'm going to fill in all the little holes and all the little dents in the wall with like, a little bit of spackle and stuff. And then what your job is, what I want you to do is I want you to come in. I want you to sand down those spots. Because frankly, I didn't want to do it. That's what I'm paying him for. I want you to sand down all of those spots. And then once you've sanded them down, just go ahead, run through, paint all of the walls of a particular color that I am interested in having. And then once you're done with that, I will move a bunch of furniture back into place, and we will have those rooms pretty much all ready and set to go to take pictures, put on the market, bada boom, bada bing, awesome. And he seemed pretty open about it. He was just like, oh yeah, absolutely. Sounds good to me. Like, sounds like a plan, and I like a plan. So I go ahead and I start doing all of these things. And during that time, he was working on stuff like, in other portions of this house. So he hadn't quite gotten down to my area. But there were already some signs that things were happening. He started painting a couple of the different locations in the house, and I noticed, and my roommates noticed, that you could kind of see the paint from the previous paint job through the layer of paint that he'd left. And we looked at him and we're like, hey, dude, you think you could do like another coat of paint on the wall? And he's just like, oh no, don't worry about that. No, nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna give a shit. And I'm just sitting there like, I do. What do you mean? I care. Look, if his argument is just like, okay, so if you get up real close to the wall and if you look at it really close, you can see little tiny bits of specks of places where like some of the color from the previous paint is shining through. Dude, honestly, nobody is going to look that close. Nobody's even going to care about it. They'll probably think that it's an aesthetic choice. And I'm like, no. Look, when was the last time you went over to a friend's place and you looked at somebody's wall and you saw that there was like paint shining through the previous, the new paint job they have? Like, what was your thought? Did you think like, oh, hey, this is a really interesting decision to like add this extra coat of paint, but like leave it unpainted to give it a little bit of an extra tone? Or did you think, hey, buddy, that needs another coat of paint? No. It's like that the second one. You don't like if the color of the paint isn't consistent, people point that out and people notice. So it's just like, but it wasn't a gigantic deal up to that point. We were just like, okay, we're going to like make a very solid point to just basically tell him, no, you have to go back through and repaint this. And in general, we were like, we also decided like, all right, when he goes and paints any other rooms, we're not allowing him to move on until he makes sure that he like does proper paint on the walls. So it finally came time for him to come into like my space of the house. And so that includes like a bedroom and an office space, aka where I'm currently am right now. And again, his mission for this part of the house is sand down all of the extra spackling that I did on a bunch of the holes on the walls, paint up a color of blue that I want, basically sky blue. And then, after he's done with that, like, make sure that he, like, paints enough layers so that you can't see the layers, like, from the previous paint. That's what I want. It's not a big... I don't think I'm asking a whole lot, you know what I mean? Especially considering the fact that I'm paying the guy. And on top of that, he always promised, like, oh yeah, I could totally get that done in the span of a day. I can do that in a day, no problem. And I'm like, okay, all right, we'll see what you do then. And so in that amount of time, I decided to get up and go and just live in different portions of the house, which, like, I never really realized it, but like, it is really a morale killer when you don't have access to your bedroom or access to like any of just your living spaces just to be able to chill. Like, you feel constantly like on all the time. And that can really wear you down, honestly. Like, even if you do decide to just hang out in like a common area or something, it's like, yeah, but it's not my space. It's not my room. I don't, it's like there's something psychological about it where you just can't shut your brain off. So for the intermittent time, for like that entire 24-hour period where I was waiting for him to like finish the painting and also waiting for the paint to dry, I just kind of chilled out in a different location. Kind of a little bit stressed, but overall, like, okay, I'm fine. Especially since I know that once everything is done, it's gonna be super nice and fresh and done, and I can get to work on more things. The next day comes around, and I finally have time to go into that space and like inspect it and see what he did. What he did was, number one, you remember how I said that I wanted him to sand the walls? He sanded them. Poorly. Yeah, so like you could very clearly tell that like he definitely did go over each and every one of those things, but he certainly didn't make it flat. Which is kind of the entire point of spackling over a hole. You want the hole to be gone and you want the wall to be flat. You don't want to see like patches of like, spackle that have been like painted over. Which is the other problem. He painted over the spackle. So now there's just a big old blob of spackle that has paint over it. And the third problem is that, you remember how I said I wanted a nice sky blue? It's white. It's white. Pure white. Straight up. Freaking white. Like, and what's funny is that I saw the paint and I'm just like, that doesn't look a heck of a lot like sky blue. And I remember he was just like, oh, this stuff, when it dries, it's gonna look blue, don't worry. And then I was just like, yeah, no, maybe it's the lighting in this room, but this doesn't look blue, it looks white. Look, if I wanted to have white walls, I would go and live in an apartment with like, you know, like a landlord or something like that. Fuck's sake. And also, hello, Squid Gal. How you doing? This is an entire action speak louder than words since you mentioned the guy was praising his skill. Yes, dude, this is that's absolutely true. Dude was like, he spoke so highly of his work, and yet he gets to actually work on it, and it's shit. And I'll give a little bit of fairness to him. Like, I did say, hey, I'd like to get this done as soon as possible so that I can start the move, so that I can, like, hitch a ride on the current market of, like, housing right now, so that I don't end up, like, breaking my bank. And, you know, I'm sure that probably sort of, like, sped him up a little bit and made him think, like, oh, okay, well, all right, rush mode, let's go. At the same time, however, like, if you can't get something done in a period of time, it is your job as the contract to actually say, like, oh, no, there's no way I can get that done. I need, like, 3 days at a minimum. Just say that, and then we'll work something out. Maybe, like, if you need some help on something, like, hey, Doug, if you need, like, me to do a little bit of extra work around the area, maybe I could, like, help out a little bit with it and, like, speed things up a little bit faster. Like, clearly I'm doing that, right? Like, I went and I moved a whole bunch of furniture, cleaned the walls, and, like, spackled up the freaking place, and I even put up the painter's tape and everything. I was just like, here you go, here's your template, go nuts with the paint, buddy. And it still fucked up. It's the wrong paint. Oh, also on top of that, like, he didn't put down any, like, tarping around the edges of the walls either. He just, like, went off of his own, like, confidence in the fact that he wasn't gonna drip any paint. And, like, to give him credit, he actually did a pretty good job of not dripping paint. For the most part. But he did. And he did that on a carpeted floor. Shag. So now I'm like, okay, I gotta clean the floor and maybe cut out those little portions of the rug now. Freaking great. So here's where a big chunk of stress exists with this guy. I've told you only a base amount of the work that he has done on stuff that's within my particular area. He also went, like, he worked like a freaking tornado. The problem is, like, you know, he was speedy, but he also was really speedy at fucking up every single little thing he did. So now me and all of my my roommates are currently trying to work out a plan to, like, basically undo a whole bunch of the shit he did, or, like, modify it or fix it in some capacity. So, like a tornado. Yeah. Yes. And so at this stage, we're all kind of, like, looking at each other being like, do we contest this? Like, what? How do we even do that? Like, there's no way we're gonna be paying him the amount of money he's asking for. Like, and we've been collecting every single little, like, piece of evidence of all the shit he got wrong. And what we're really hoping is that we can put it up in front of his face and be like, okay, buddy, here's the work you did. Here's all the shit that you messed up. We're paying you, like, 20% of what you're asking. And you better be thankful that we're doing that. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's shit labor, but at the very least, it is labor. You know? Like, his time is valuable in some capacity. But it's less valuable when he doesn't do it properly. It's dumb. And the worst part, later on, I went and I did the smart thing. Oh, Kippy says, either you can help us actually finish this so you can get paid, or we're doing it and paying you for what you did. Oh no, he's not welcome anymore. He's done. we're not letting him touch anything in this house anymore. No, he's kind of proven to us that like he just can't turn off the turbo, like, and he really needs to. So I'm not gonna basically like keep him captive essentially, because it's kind of one of those you're not locked in here with me, I'm locked in here with you kind of things. No, we're cutting our losses and we're gonna see if we can haggle him down to maybe not pay as much. But here's the shitty thing. I went and I did the right thing, and I went and I actually checked him on like Angie's list. I found him. Really should have looked it up before I hired him, and as it turns out, he's got a few reviews on there, and a couple of them are scathing. And there was one particular review that is very similar to what, the experience of what I had, here at this location. And that review was 10 years ago. 10 years! I don't think I've emphasized this enough. 10 goddamn years! Like, I've heard of fake it till you make it, but like, if you haven't made it in 10 years, you're not gonna make it, man. Like, Jesus. How long are you gonna string people along? And on top of that, don't fake it and make it for house improvement. Just don't. That's a surefire way to get a fire. Just never do that. Fuck. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from my stressful stories, and we're gonna go and take a look at the horrors that Mapley has been making in the back. Yas. What the? It's beautiful. Look at him. Oh. He's a big. Why has he got such like high detail cuticles? It's like there's way too much rendering on this. What? Jesus. Good freaking Lord. I like it though. It's freaking it's haunting. Anything else going on in here while I'm at it? Okay, nobody appears to be bullying me anywhere else, so yes. Thank you, Mapley. Adorable. I love it. Botox bit. Realistic face and water bubble. Well, it's basically just handsome bit in a nutshell. I make the most horrendous doodles whilst high. I've seen a handful of them, and yes, you're right. Anyway, so that's the whole like contractor thing. And unfortunately, that's an ongoing stressful thing that I'm gonna have to deal with for a long time, which sucks because like I just want to move. Like, for fuck's sake, I just want to be able to like pick my stuff up and go. I didn't need to deal with like another round of stupid shit to deal with it, but surprise, surprise. I guess that's what I'm dealing with now. I'm tired just thinking about it. And keep in mind, I had a series of like 4 different situations that were basically essentially that. Not like, not exactly like that, but like with just as much fatigue. Like, so if you're wondering why I wasn't here for 2 to 3 weeks, yeah, that's kind of why. 1, I was busy. 2, I was tired as hell. So yeah, there's that. Another thing that happened was, and you guys have been kind of informed about this one, because of all of the furniture moving that I have been doing in preparation for just like getting rid of stuff, moving stuff out of the way, bloody blue, I threw out my back. And it has been about a week or so that I have been allowing it to just sort of heal. And luckily I'm feeling a heck of a lot better. But yeah, that is something that kind of like takes up a lot of your time. Just suddenly it's just like, hey, guess what? You know that one thing you really badly need to get taken care of? Well, you can't do it now. Congratulations. Mandatory rest. So yeah, that's a thing that's happening now. Um, Even then, I do still feel a little bit of pull in that portion of my back. Um, I'm hoping that I can just leave it alone for a little while longer, and it will do just fine. I've been to a chiropractor. I have gotten a set of stretches that I have been instructed to do every single day, and I'm doing okay. Though, been a while since I've been to a chiropractor, and boy oh boy, you forget just how many bones you have in your body, because like, wow, he's capable of snapping a lot of them. I went in there and he was just like, okay, lay on the table, lie on your side. All right, are you comfortable? All right, breathe in and breathe out. Everything in my body explode. It was freaking weird. The following day, I was in absolute agony, which, you know, that's to be expected when you have work done on you like that. But, you know, basically just, I'm gonna loosen up your entire spine in one foul swoop. It's terrifying. I don't know. Anyway, that's fairly, that's not a huge deal, but it is something that's like kind of set me back a little bit, which really frustrates the ever-loving heck out of me. And another thing that happened, which was kind of obnoxious, and it happened at the worst time possible, was, do you remember me talking about the laptop? Count back from 10. I remember, actually, one of the things he talked about was, after he had done my back, he asked whether or not I wanted to have my neck readjusted. And I basically, like, after the back part was done, I was like, no. Never mind. No. I'm good. If you're gonna do the same thing to my neck that you did to my back, like, maybe it'll feel a little bit better in a couple of days, but holy shit. No, I came back and we're talking about chiropractors. Hello, I don't trust them. I tend to not go to chiropractors either. But at the exact same time, I was in like some significant pain. And unfortunately, here's a fun thing about our current society right now. To actually get into a real doctor who will give you medicine and proper procedures, you have to be on a wait call for like, or a waiting list of like 2 weeks, because everybody is booked out. There's not enough doctors, and there is too many people that are currently sick and looking for attention. So, unfortunately, I looked at my options and I'm like, well, I can't let this sit. Shit. And even then, I looked into getting the chiropractor, and even then, like, I didn't have any coverage for chiropractors in my insurance, so I kind of had to pay out of pocket for that. And I'm just like, God fucking damn it. Can you throw me another stupid thing, world? Does that sound good? Jesus. Yeah, on top of all the other expenses I've been doing as of late. Anyway, so let's get back onto a topic here. I was about to discuss the laptop. Oh, wait, Kippy says, I'd rather suffer than trust a chiropractor, though, because there's a huge subculture in the whole chiropractor circuit connecting them to the anti-vax movement and other pseudosciences. Yeah, I agree. Like, a lot of people believe that just going to a chiropractor instead of seeing an actual doctor, like, people get it into their heads that going to, like, you know, going for the alternate medicine route of things is, like, better for you. Like, basically, if it has nothing to do with doctors, then it's great. So, you know, instead of properly getting treatment for a very bad flu that you have, you go out and you buy some incense and then you call it a day. Like, or you get like some kind of, you know, some herbal remedy that somebody sells that supposedly fixes the flu, which it can't. Yeah. So when I look at chiropractic, I genuinely do think that chiropractors like from an actual like function standpoint or functional standpoint, I think they can potentially help you if you are in a situation where you are extremely stiff or you're having muscle problems and things like that, and you need to get back onto a regular routine of doing stretches and keeping yourself limber. However, you should never look at chiropractors as a replacement for medicine. And if you genuinely do think you have some sort of a major problem going on, like if your back is like genuinely slipped to a point where you think a disc might be dislodged, that's not something a chiropractor is going to be able to fix. Go get like an x-ray or go get yourself like an MRI. All right, see a doctor. Yes. Back to what I was saying though, the entire bit of the laptop thing. So, I've been joking about the shit laptop that I have that I got from my mom a while back, and it's a laptop from 2019, and yet it has like a dual core processor in it. Now, if this sounds familiar, I was literally discussing it a little bit earlier in the stream when I was talking to Lady Divine, who was talking about Discord being a son of a bitch. Oh, Diana's got to go. It was nice hanging out. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. So yeah, same laptop, and I outfitted it with SteamOS and Linux, and I've been enjoying myself very much with it. The only problem is that computer is still shit. It really can only run games of the Xbox era. Pie. A pie on the way out. Anyway, it can only run games from like the Xbox era, and I'm talking like OG Xbox, not even Xbox 360. Keep in mind, the Xbox 360, didn't that originally come out in like 2009? So this is like 2019. You'd like to think that laptop technology up to that point would have gotten to a place where they could easily run games at like an Xbox 360 level quality. You know, like that's a decade, for God's sake. Like, yeah, we should be able to make that mobile by now. But no, this laptop, even though it touted itself as being a gaming laptop, is not. It's like, it has a decent graphics processor, and that's it. Like, it's capable of doing some fairly decent stuff, but the CPU is bottlenecked to hell. And also the thing came with a regular hard drive instead of a solid state drive, which is terrible. It also only came with 4 gigabytes of RAM, which I think in this day and age, your absolute minimum should be 16. Full stop. What baloney. So here's the major problem with a laptop like that. Or with laptops in general. I like working with computer towers because computer towers, at least, have the potential to be upgraded. So if you've got a bad CPU or something that doesn't really do what you want it to do anymore, you can find something of that same generation, but slightly better, and you could just go get that. And you can replace the CPU, and then bam, you got an upgraded computer. Or you can buy a new graphics card, and as long as it works with your, your expansion slots, it works. Suddenly you have better graphics. You can't really do that with a laptop. With a laptop, everything is just soldered directly onto the board. Snab versus Cat in the Hat. I think Snab would try to steal the hat and run. And given Snab's abilities, I feel like it would be... I mean, Cat in the Hat is kind of like a mischief. He's kind of like Loki the Trickster God, a little bit. So I feel like that would be a very difficult fight. Snab in the Hat. Anyway, so like I was saying, you can't upgrade a laptop unless you completely replace the motherboard. And after doing a little bit of research, I did find out that laptop in question did have other releases that had better chips on it. Specifically, it had like chips with like Ryzen 5 graphics and a 4-core, like a quad-core processor, which, I'm used to using computers that have 8-core processors in them, but you know what? 4-core? I could do 4-core. 4-core is fine. Ryzen 5, I mean, it's especially ones of that era. They're not the speediest thing, but they're pretty good. That is about as powerful as an Xbox 360. So, hey, why not go buy like a secondhand motherboard off of eBay and then replace the motherboard in this laptop, and bada bing, bada boom, I've got an upgraded laptop that's actually worth a damn. That's freaking awesome. I'd love that. So that's what I tried to do. During this period of time where I was going to be without like a living space, or, you know, basically my little space in the house, I decided to buy this motherboard so it would arrive, and then I would have a little something to tinker with while I was waiting for stuff to be done. Oh, and Maple Leaf doodled one more thing with their mouse. Let me look at it. Oh. Wow. There's very few brain cells happening in this image.
Look! Chicken nugget!
I love it. Freaking heck. That's how I feel right now. Man. Very few thoughts. Bit in the hat? I don't know. I don't know if I would wear a hat. Where would the bubbles be if I wore a hat? On top of the hat or to the side of the hat? Good question. It's kind of like that question of how would a pig wear pants? Would it be around all four legs, or only the back two and then up to its waist? How does pig wear pants? Anyway, so yeah, I ordered that motherboard and I had it shipped out to me, and it managed to get to me right on the day that they started working on this room and like painting stuff. And I was, ow. And I thought, hey, freaking awesome. I have something to occupy my mind while I'm in the middle of doing stuff, while they're in the middle, like, painting the walls. It's freaking great. I do believe I may hop off for now. I'm gonna start winding down and mayhaps play a little good walk. Oh, okay. Have a nice walk. Thank you for coming in, Maple. One more can for the road. Yes. So, I got the motherboard, and yeah. By the way, for context sake, the motherboard that I bought, like, I did some very fine-tooth comb research to figure out whether or not this motherboard would even be compatible with this system. And I did determine that yes, like, there is a user manual that exists. It's basically like a maintenance manual for that particular model of laptop, and it lists an entire section of it, just lists all of the different motherboards that fit and are compatible within that laptop. And right alongside the original one, at the highest rung, this one was also compatible and used the same graphic technology, like slightly tweaked because it's a slightly different type of CPU and GPU, but it's still, like, form factor wise, same freaking thing. So I was like, freaking perfect. So yeah, I got that motherboard. I swapped all the parts out. And keep in mind, when you replace a motherboard in a computer, you basically have to tear all of the parts out of the laptop and then meticulously place them all back in. It's annoying. A very annoying process. One that I don't want to do. And so I did that. I plugged that sucker in. I pressed the power button. And the screen was black. And I was like, why? What do you mean? Why did I break? It took it a little bit of time, but something did come up. It gave me a little notification telling me that apparently the battery for the CMOS battery was apparently out of date after being unpowered for so long, which totally makes sense. I'm like, okay, that's awesome, because of course it wouldn't be powered because this motherboard was sitting in a bag for a really long time. Yeah, all right. Absolutely. Sounds good. So then I restarted the computer. And then it sat at the black screen. And then it just sat there. And it didn't change. And I'm like, what the heck's the deal? I hear the fan going. I heard the optical drive turn on. Why is this thing not working? Then I looked a little bit closer, and I noticed that the laptop screen was actually doing a really tiny little flicker. Just a tiny one. And it did it every like 4 or so seconds. And I was like, that's weird. Okay, why would it be doing that? I looked further into the problem, and I found a couple of things that might have ended up being a little bit of the issue. One, I thought that maybe the BIOS, which if you don't know what a BIOS is basically it is an operating system that is like hard coded into the motherboard that is essentially the controller for all of the functions of the motherboard. And I thought maybe the BIOS is corrupted or missing. So I did go out and I looked for the proper BIOS for that computer so that I could reflash it. I plugged it in. I tried to get it working. It wouldn't. But it did give me a new error that was basically telling me that, like, the CPU's... So, all right, this is another complicated thing, but, like, basically hardware nowadays have got, like, security keys that connect to each other or talk to each other for the sake of, like, you know, secure computing and whatnot. I don't know. Again, it's a security thing to make sure that, like, nobody hacks into your system and hijacks pieces of your computer. Or, like, you know, if somebody replaces a part and then puts another part in an effort to try and steal somebody's data, it shuts them out and basically tells them that just like, no, not allowed. And you can get around it, obviously. But the only way that you can possibly get around it is to get access to the BIOS. Which I can't do. Because the BIOS, I can't get access to the BIOS for some reason. So I started thinking about it, and after I did a little bit of more hoop jumping and working with the thing and just testing it for about a week, I finally kind of made a realization. And follow me with this this line of logic with me real quick. So the screen stays black for a certain period of time. The only time you actually see something show up on the screen is a very basic error message. Basically something that could easily be drawn by like the very raw basic chips on the motherboard. Now, on top of that, like, so the screen, the visuals are not working. And also, it seems like it's not properly loading any operating system. You know, and I'm willing to bet, like, you know, those few fleeting moments, like the 4 seconds of, like, little flicker of the screen, I'm guessing is probably the OS attempting to try and boot up, or something trying to boot up at least. But for some reason, the actual computer processor cannot call it. So my thoughts are, I think the CPU GPU combo on that motherboard, I think it's borked. I think it's broken. Because think about it, yeah, the thing that is supposed to function as the thing that powers the processing of the computer and the visuals of the computer, if that's broken, of course nothing's gonna load, and of course nothing's gonna be visual. And the only things that work, again, are like a few chips that are still sitting on the motherboard as like very basic essential parts. That's what I think's happening. Probably gonna head off soon because tomorrow is the first day of school. It's unfortunate. But I wish you luck in your endeavors on the first day of school. Have a very good one. Anyway, so yeah, I basically was just like, yeah, it sounds like the processor is completely broken on this thing, which is funny because, like, it was advertised on eBay as like being a functional motherboard that does work. My thoughts are, I get the suspicion that the person that sold me this motherboard, I think they sold it from like a warehouse they have. Like I think they've got a bunch of motherboards that they just have sitting somewhere that they're just letting rot in a warehouse. And I would not be surprised if all the time it spent just sitting on a shelf somewhere might have been enough to like mess with it. And I don't know what the quality is of the warehouse itself either. Like it could have been sitting in a really crappy spot. I don't know. I think the CPU might be broken on it. So I decided like, yeah, I'm gonna send this back. So I have sent it back via eBay. But what's funny is that even that is giving me headaches. Because I packed it up, shipped it off, and I went to eBay to like input the tracking information and also telling them like where it's being shipped from, and it didn't update the page. What the heck, man? And then I had to call up eBay customer support and being like, guys, so this didn't update and I don't know why. Hey, can we do something about that? I'm confused. And the lady behind the phone was very nice. She was just like, okay, well, let me see if I can fix it on my end. And then apparently she did go and input the information I gave her. And she's like, okay, should be updated in about 24 hours. I checked 24 hours later. It's not. Still not, as of recording this right now. So my assumption is that there's just something going on the back end of eBay that like this particular order is broken. So I have messaged the seller directly and basically said, hey, something weird is going on. I don't know why. But here is the return information and the proper tracking number. I apologize. And hopefully I won't run into any problems and hopefully I can get my refund without any, too much fuss. But I do suspect that I might have to make one more phone call to eBay to try and get help with this again. Keep in mind, this is happening at the exact same time as all the other shit going on. It's like, I don't want to deal with customer service shit while I'm also dealing with this whole move thing. God fucking damn it. And then, again, as a final little kick to the balls, this whole, this whole thing with the stream, I wasn't really able to do the stream because of the fact that, like, I had dismantled everything so I could move all my furniture so we could paint the walls. And guess what? Thanks to the fact that the guy fucked up the walls, he fucked up on the color, he fucked up on the sanding, he fucked up on, like, making sure that he didn't accidentally paint trim. Now I'm gonna have to have it done again. So that means at some point here, I'm gonna have to pull this entire rig apart again, and I'm gonna have to take another hiatus. It's shit. I'm really tired of it. I just want things to be fixed, and I just want things to be done. And it's so annoying that, like, somebody had to lie to me and basically be like, oh yeah, no, I can totally do that for you. I can do that in 2 days. No, you can't, buddy. God damn it. So yeah, that's life. I guess if there's any positives I can say here, it's that it appears that my stream setup is relatively working fine. And I guess I will use it up until it's time to repaint in here. Hopefully we can get like a couple of other rooms done first before that. Crossing my fingers. I don't know. We'll see. And then it's just a question of whether or not like the house will sell quickly or not. I don't know. Big fat question mark. I certainly hope so, but not holding my breath on that. Oh, but anyways, yeah, that's been that's all the stuff that I can talk about. I will tell you 2 other things happened off stream. Well, okay, yeah, it's hard to describe. I literally can't really talk about it. 2 other things that were really stressful happened over the course of the my last like couple of weeks here. One of them I have already talked about on the Discord, and I made an at everyone. You probably read that one, and I'm intentionally not talking about it because I don't want to give any more attention to it than it needs to. One, because I want to respect people that were involved, and two, because I don't want to lift up the name of the person in question. Just a heads up. But then there's another thing that I literally cannot talk about because it actually goes into something really personal and something like very detail heavy involved with like me. I can't really talk about it. But it added just as much stress as everything else. These couple of weeks have been shit. It's been friggin' awful. I'm happy that I have access to my stream at the very least right now. We'll see whether or not that continues to be a constant. But I want to give you guys a massive thanks for hanging out. I want to thank you guys for just being patient as I'm going through this transitional period of my life. Like, it really is. It's a really big change in just a lot of things. Don't be surprised if I also have to make some other adjustments as well, including like I might have to shift my stream schedule just because of the nature of how, job and occupation stuff are probably going to happen. It's a thing. But my resolve is steel, and I am definitely going to do everything I can to keep coming back here to do more VTuber nonsense with you guys. That should be fun. Is there anything else I need to say? Because I'm thinking about maybe just sort of chilling and vibing and calling it a night. Wasn't even really planning on doing a stream, honestly. Like, I was planning on maybe doing a little bit of something. Life can get fucky sometimes. It is what it is, but we push through. Absolutely. Agreed. But no, I did a little bit of testing off stream to make sure that, the connections between the two computers, the stream PC and the game PC, do work. And from what I have tested, it looks like they absolutely do. This is my new background. I finally got rid of the Halo stuff because, again, I'm finally saying, goodbye, Halo. I don't want to touch it anymore. Instead, I've added Cyberpunk, which I got my problems with CD Projekt Red, but I have a lot less with them than I do with frickin' Microsoft. So, I was like, yeah, let's put Night City in the background. It looks nice. I like it. Hold on. I just have this on my desktop. Are you fucking stupid? Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Oh, fucking hell. Should do Okami, a studio that doesn't exist anymore. Can't hurt you. There is truth to that, actually. That's unfortunate, though. Oh my god. That is actually sort of soul-crushing to be like, oh, man. I don't know. It's kind of one of those, like, if you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, that kind of thing. I mean, to be fair, I don't think Microsoft has ever not been the villain. I think they've always been sort of, like, seedy and had shit going on in the background that they were not very... What do I do in this day and age of video games? Like, I'm basically being shoved into a position of needing to be either a Nintendo gamer or a, like, PC gamer. Because with, like, PlayStation, they're like, no more physical media, goodbye. And Xbox, well, again, Xbox is Microsoft. Yeah, no, nuts to that. And I really badly want to swap over to Linux. Specifically, I actually looked up, not too long ago, SteamOS has just recently been approved, or like it does finally have compatibility with NVIDIA graphics. I don't know how well, but it can do them. Hey? Maybe? I don't know. My issue is that, like, in order to actually swap over to using SteamOS, it would require me to either I'd have to completely get rid of software that I have been using for a really long period of time, or I need to figure out how to make them compatible, which you can technically. You know, like there you can make Windows software work on Linux. Wine has actually been a really good piece of software. It works like tremendously well with getting exes to run. It's just like, do I want to go through the hassle to completely gut Microsoft out of my life? Maybe. On top of that, also my capture devices, my Elgato capture devices, that's a little bit trickier because Linux doesn't really have like dead set drivers for any of those things, and Elgato doesn't distribute those for NVIDIA, like for Linux rather. So, you know, I think maybe for the stream PC I could go ahead and keep Windows on that system, but for like my daily driver, my game PC, maybe it's about time that I start thinking about making the swap over. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't hurt. Something to think about. You know what I mean? Pokemon is a lifelong, genuine autistic hyperfixation, so I inevitably got Pokopia, and I'm so happy. Nintendo has me grabbed by the short hair. Yeah. See, I have not gotten Pokopia, but it looks really good. And I think for me, I was really into Pokemon during generations 1 through 3, possibly 4. And then after that, I was like, I petered off. And I was like, I'm excited enough that I'm like, hey, look, I know that. That's a Pokemon. That's awesome. But aside from that, unless you're showing me one of like the core 1 to 3 generations, very likely I'm not going to get super ridiculously excited. Pokopia is probably the best game they made in years, which is funny considering the fact that they've been making Pokemon for many, many years. You would think that those games would be pretty freaking good. Nope. It's the random side game that they were like, just fart this out. Who knows? and then it becomes successful, and they're like, update it. Update. add extra shit. Make people buy it. Oh, hey, question. How is the echo in this area, by the way? I have some like echo cancellation on this mic, but like I'm sure you can probably hear some echo in the background. Again, this place is actually really empty. Like basically I am this room that I'm in right now, it consists of like desk and bed. and that's kind of it. The story is good, made me cry, and then I just was set loose to keep Minecraft building cute little homes for my Pokemon. I don't hear echo, but I'm also keeping volume low because husband is asleep. Wake up! Okay, I could hear the echo on that one. Grab a brush and put it on the makeup! See, that's something I want to do when I move to my new location. I want to get myself some good sound dampening stuff, so like I can kind of make it sound a little bit better in here. Oh, you know what sucks? In order for me to like start doing stuff in here, I did need to dismantle my my sound booth area. And so there's a bunch of things that I can't record like locally here. Like I gotta go somewhere else and like look for a different sound booth in order to do that. Which kind of sucks because I just recently got a message from somebody in my DMs being like, hey, production is going smooth. We're about to start do voice acting stuff. I'm like, shit. Oh no. Oh God. This is not good timing, buddy. A little echo, but not immediately noticeable. Oh, very tired and falling asleep. Gonna head out. Have a good one, Cecil. Get yourself some proper rest. Oh man, what other things have been going on as of recently? Honestly, can that be enough? Can that? Holy shit. Yeah, can that be enough? I've had enough. I would like things to just move nice and smoothly now. If you don't mind. That'd be great. That seems sufficient, right? It's like, and what's funny is that, like, I'm not against the idea of having these sorts of things happen in my life. You know, things happen, shit happens, and you roll with the punches and you keep on moving. But it's another thing for it to be punches, and it's another thing to be a nuclear bomb. You know what I mean? Or like several nuclear bombs. Basically a carpet bomb. Because that's really what's been going on as of recently. It's just like, hey, guess what? 12 different shit situations are dropping on you right the fuck now. I can only survive so much. Yeah, no. Sometimes you just want to do a little Zawarudo and take a moment of peace. Sometimes. Man, I'm trying to think. Is there something goofy that I could be doing right about now? I feel like I want to do something sort of silly to like end out the stream. Something I haven't done in a while. What have I not done? What do I got? Remember the last time that I did a casual stream? I just did Repo, which was kind of neat. Oh, there's so many games that I want to play, but like a few of them are multiplayer types of games that I'd have to play with like friends. I've already tried Big Walk and it's super fun. I want to play that a little bit more. What else? Oh yeah, I tried out Machine Party, which is basically Mario Party except like PS1 murder. It's freaking great. Have you heard of Horsey Game? I think I've heard of Horsey Game. Let me look it up real quick. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I've heard of Horsey Game. Yeah, that is a whole lot of really dumb fun. It's cursed. 10 out of 10. Agreed. And then there's Peak. I need to play some Peak with somebody at some point here. Super Battle Golf. I don't know. In general, I'm kind of trying to be really careful with my finances, and I don't know. Games at the current moment are not really on like number one on my radar. Couple of things are on my radar. One, moving expenses. That's numero uno on the list. The second one is, you know what? I would like to get that motherboard, and I'd like to give this a second shot. Because I think it would be very invaluable for me to have a laptop setup that actually is worth a damn, and I can actually do some really decent work on, mobily. In the event that like I do have to dismantle the stream here, it would be really cool if I had it. So it is kind of like up there. Another thing that I want to get, and we've discussed this on the stream here, I want to get some new hand trackers. Because you know that like for a very long time I've been using a Leap Motion hand tracker that I currently have hanging on my my frickin' collar right now, and it works. It does the job. But the problem is if it even like slightly loses sight of your hands, and that can be done by just doing a weird hand movement, you know. it drops out, and it's just like, where did you go? I'm getting really annoyed and fed up with it. Like, I've reached a point where I'm like, I kind of want to have something better. So for me, I kind of want to move to a different thing, and I have looked into it, and there is a set of gloves, and I've talked about this in the stream a couple of times, but I'll go ahead and like shill it again, because why the heck not? Because I swear it'll happen. It will happen. I want to get me one of these. Or two of these, I should say. These are Stretch Sense VR gloves. And they are basically like a combination of a stretchy material that is built into some gloves that can sense when you open and close them. And then it has the that little tracker thing on the back there. And what that does is it senses the glove's motion in 3D space without any optical trackers. That is key. Because right now, what you're currently seeing my hands do, that's being done by an optical tracker. So when I cut line of sight, it stops working. However, if I had one of these suckers, I could move my hands all which way outside of this little square that I currently have them sitting in. That they've been sitting in for the entire time I've been 3D. I so badly want to get the hell out of like this particular setup, you know? Like, this tracker has done me good. It was a nice, cheap, and reasonable, like, sort of thing. And I've been waiting for trackers like these to finally become more viable. And you know what? They finally are. But the problem is a set of these, so basically 2 gloves, are going to cost you about $500. Keep in mind, the price for these things used to be over like $1,000, and in fact, they're still $1,000, depending on which ones you get. These are the cheapest and actually some of like the most accurate ones that I have found. So yes, I would like to get this at some point. But again, I gotta weigh a lot of my current finances before I try and do something like that. But it's gonna happen soon, I promise you. And I'm looking forward to it. Oh man. I mean, in general, like, it would be kind of nice if I did a little bit of reworking of certain things in my my streaming setup for like VTubing. That's one of them. But I mean, like, it's been a while since I've gotten an update on my avatar, so that might be a nice thing to do at some point. Also, once I move over to using the Stretch Sense gloves, I do believe it's going to require me to go to a different VTubing software, because I don't think VNyan actually has the ability to use those gloves. Give me a second. We're gonna go into my settings real quick. RyLive. I don't know what RyLive is. Leap Motion. Well, there you go. There's Leap Motion. Steam VR. No, I don't want Steam VR. Steam VR requires trackers and VMC receivers. I mean, maybe some of these things are that, but like I don't necessarily know. I know for a fact that Warudo, which is a software that a lot of people are moving over to, Warudo has like a lot more flexibility with more pieces of hardware, so I'd probably move over there. But in order for me to do that, I am gonna have to make some adjustments to like my throwables and things like that. So, you know, in the event that you guys wanted to do something like this, I'm gonna have to find a good solid replacement for that, you know? If not that, a good equivalent. Or if you guys wanted to toss a thing at me, you know, that's stuff that's being powered by VNyan, so I'm gonna have to like put myself down on the grindstone and start to really work on getting some things all set up for that. Which I can do. Though the issue is, like, I might not be in the right place to actually work on stuff like that right now. You know, got a lot of other responsibilities going on. Okay. Well, I think this has been a really nice sort of chill out chat with you guys stream, just to get back into the swing of things. So the plan is, I'm thinking about doing some more live streams, you know, setting up another schedule for next week where we're gonna play ourselves some Detective Grimoire Tangled Tower, which I've been away from for a while. So, yeah, we'll dive into that on Wednesday, I'm thinking. And then I will plan to play some more Bubsy 4D on Saturday. And then we'll dive into a casual stream on Sunday where I will have my regular banter with you, as well as I will open up the conversations with some folks over in the Discord, probably. So that's kind of the idea. I think that's a good. That's a good. That's a very good. But for now, I think we're going to call it a day. Is there anybody streaming that I can send you guys over to? Let me go check. Who's currently streaming right now? Who's currently doing stuff? There's a couple people that are on. Thinking about maybe just jumping over to Sketchy. Let's see what Sketchy is currently drawing at the moment. Ah, they're bald. Actually, wait, no, that's not bald. that's like white hair. Looked a hell of a lot like bald to me. Let me check to see if I can even hear it. Oh, I can't. You guys can probably hear it on your end, but I need to enable it. Sound drivers are a weird thing. Okay, there we go. It functioned. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I'll go ahead and I will throw you guys over to Sketchy Raven, who... What are they currently working on? Let's make sure that it's like, you know, PG. What are you making? What are you doing? What is this? What? It looks like they're, you know, it's RD stuff at the moment. There's also Hubba Bubba in the background. I mean, you know, right after my own heart. Okay. Sure. Let's go ahead and do the thing. I will type in a raid thing. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and raid into Sketchy Raven, who is currently doing some art things, and it looks like they are... I think they're rigging some sort of like a VTuber thing right now, because it looks like they're toggling with a couple of like VTuber funnies. So yeah, let's go look. I'll go ahead and press raid on here. Now, like I said, you guys heard my my plans for the next week, so I hope they happen and we don't have any sort of like, you know, random changes in plans. But if they do, they do. And again, hopefully we can get some stuff done before I have to dismantle all this again. But yeah, have a good one, everybody, and say, you know, give a nice hello to Sketchy for me. Have a good one.